Hello my friends and welcome to my channel Magical Musings. I'm Nefer Kefri. Today's video is a little different from my usual. I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update, and for those of you who follow me in my groups on Facebook and over on Instagram, a little explanation as to why I've been so quiet on social media, and then a little bit further in the video I'm going to be opening a box. I received a box from one of my lovely Facebook friends and patrons, Laura, and so I'm going to be opening whatever's in here. I did remove the addresses and cut it open just so I wouldn't have to mess with all that on camera. I have no idea what's in here except that it's really light. That's all I know. As for what I've been up to, I went through a major rigmarole with my ocular health in 2024, my eyeballs. I have a long history. I have a 41-year history of ocular hypertension known as glaucoma. It was not high enough, my pressures were not high enough to be classified as glaucoma until 2024. In February, I went for my routine annual exam with my ophthalmologist. And because I have high eye pressure, I always have to see an ophthalmologist, not an optometrist. An optometrist isn't equipped, first of all, to give you an accurate measure of your eye pressures, and they are not able to properly treat glaucoma in case it's that high that it gets classified as glaucoma. So I always go to an ophthalmologist, and the other difference is ophthalmologists are also eye surgeons in case you ever need that done. So I went in February for a routine exam, and of course when they check your eyes for vision, they have to dilate your pupils, right? And so they give you a special drop to dilate your pupils. Well, about 2 days later, I was firmly convinced that my right eye was still dilated because light was really affecting it. And then a couple days later, that went away. All right, so then I was fine for a couple more days. And then I started getting dizzy spells, problems with my balance. I could feel pain behind my left eye and above my right eye. And above my right eye, it got to be so bad that it was like a migraine. And I'm not prone to headaches. I'm not prone to migraines. I have no family history of either. As a matter of fact, my dad never knew what it was like to have a headache. He never had one. So it got to be so bad that also the dizziness was making me feel motion sick. So I was kind of dealing with off again, on again feelings of being nauseated. I had trouble eating. I didn't get actually sick with anything, you know, and so I went to my regular doctor who was like, oh, it's just the virus, it'll pass, you know, just drink plenty of fluids, get rest, you'll be good to go. Okay. 2 weeks later, I'm still sick with no improvement, no changes. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know, this is weird, I don't know. And I kind of thought, you know, could it be my eyes? And I was like, nah, because, you know, I didn't realize what the symptoms were of severe glaucoma that is out of control. I should have Googled that. If I Googled that immediately, I could have saved myself a whole lot of suffering. But I didn't, because I didn't think it was my eyes. I was convinced it was something head. I went to see my allergist and he was like, no, your sinuses are fine. This is not a sinus issue. You know, I'm not sure what's going on with you, but it's not sinuses. And he was thinking it was long COVID. And I'm like, dude, I've been blessed to never have had COVID. So, and he was like, well, you've got all the symptoms. He was trying to convince me it was long COVID. I'm like, no. No. Plus, I didn't have that chronic feeling of tiredness and being worn out that you can have with long COVID. So I knew that wasn't it. I mean, my husband's had COVID like 2 or 3 times now. Sorry, I've lost count. And I always had him under quarantine. I never got it. Sick as he was right here in the same house, I never caught it because I was careful. So as it turns out, it did end up being my eyes. I went back to my ophthalmologist and I said, look, you've got to check me out. I've got this going on, that going on, this going on, and that. And he was like, you sound like you may have narrow angles. And I'm like, excuse me? And he explained the narrow angle. If you imagine your eyeball in profile, okay? You have your iris, right? The colored part of your eye is the iris. You have a clear dome over that iris that protects it, protects the entire eye. There's fluid that is constantly flowing between your iris and your cornea, or that dome over your eye, and it drains out through the back of your eye. And he said people with narrow angles, the dome of their cornea is very, very close to the iris, and that causes trouble with eye drainage. And he says, I've never seen narrow angles in you before. So I'm wondering if this happened during your previous eye exam when we dilated your pupils. He said it's rare, but pupil dilation, because it causes the pupil to swell, can cause the little bit of gap between your iris and your cornea to close up a bit. And then that creates more problems with high eye pressures and can lead immediately to full-blown glaucoma. That's what it did to me. I had full-blown glaucoma. My pressures were in the low 40s, extremely, extremely scary. He was like, you need immediate surgery. And he happens to be the best in Houston. And I'm like, yes, but because he's the best in Houston, he's always booked up. And so I had to wait. So I had the diagnosis, the official diagnosis in September. I had to wait until early November. They did the right eye. And then I went back in on December 10th and they did the left eye. So with the right eye, I had a severe reaction to the medications and the IV drip they give you. They give you medications to keep you calm so you're not moving during surgery. And they also give you medications for the pain. And evidently, the pain medication, they said, is what made me so sick. I was so sick for 6 days after that first operation on the right eye. I almost asked my husband to take me to the hospital. That's how horrible I felt. It was like the worst. And it was like all my symptoms from previous magnified by about 10. And I was vomiting. I couldn't keep anything down. And I just basically just laid in bed for 6 days and tried not to move. It was that bad. And then I suddenly woke up on day 7 and I was perfectly fine. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm over that, and went on with my life. And then they did the second eye, December the 10th. And for that one, I had to talk with the anesthesiologist before my surgery, because they come talk to you and they ask you the same old questions. Are you allergic to any medications? And I said, not that I know of, but with the first eye, this, and this happened to me, and I was sick for 6 days. And she tried to convince me it was not the anesthesia, that had nothing to do with the anesthesia. And then instead, it was the procedure and the immediate changes it did to my eye. And I was just like, no, it's the medication. She tried to give me attitude. And I was just like, no, And then my doctor came to speak to me prior to the procedure, and he's really cool. And I was just like, Dr. McCauley, I'm like, no, it wasn't that. It's the medication. I know it is, and I'm not comfortable with that IV drip. He says, don't worry. They'll give you more of the eye drop for pain, but we'll still give you the IV for, keeping you calm. He says, that way you're not moving during surgery. He says, it's not a good idea to do that. I'm like, yeah, I know. Operating with the eye, yeah. Because you're fully awake when you go in for that type of surgery, but you're not really consciously with it. And the drugs for the calmness, they're so nice. You just feel like you're floating on a little cloud, and you're just like, oh, everything in the world is just so wonderful. And you're looking up, and all you see is this circle of tiny bright lights above your eyes. That's all you see. And you don't feel anything. That's how the first procedure went. And then, of course, I got sick. So for the second procedure, it was the same thing. I'm there feeling calm and cool as a cucumber. All of a sudden, I had the worst searing pain of my entire life. And now they were operating on my left eye. And the pain went in through my eye, shot out the back of my head, and kept that up for the entire length of the procedure, which is only like about, I think, 3 to 5 minutes. And what they had to do, not only did I have narrow angles, I had very young cataracts in my eyes. So that space between the iris and the cornea was completely closed and filled up because of the young cataracts. So he was going in there to remove the cataracts, and his best case scenario was, I'm hoping to get your eye pressures down to the high teens. If I can get them down to the high teens, I'll be completely happy. And they've been in the high teens for most of my adult life. I was first diagnosed when I was 20. And so they didn't get into the low 20s until I was like in my 40s. And that's where they stayed until my exam in February of 2024. So I'm literally laying on the bed going, the anesthesiologist shorted me on the local. But because of the calming drugs and whatever else that you've got going in that IV from them, you can't move, you can't speak, you can't even go like this. Nothing. And I don't know about you guys, but I watch a lot of horror movies, and you know those body horror movies when the guy's on the operating table and he comes out of the anesthesia, and you hear about that in real life too. It happens. Horrible, right? That happened to me. And I can honestly tell you exactly what it feels like to be shot in the eyeball and have the bullet come out through the back of your head. It was the absolute worst, searing, nonstop pain for several minutes I've ever felt in my life. It was 10 times worse than any contraction I had with my daughter. It was 20 times worse than when I had a kidney stone twice in my life. Nothing compares to what I felt on that table. Of course, I told my doctor afterward, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was mortified. What could he do then? Nothing. Because after the procedure, I don't know how long I was even laying there, if I was even laying there, because the next thing I know, they're helping me to get into a wheelchair, and I don't even really remember getting off the table and into a wheelchair. And then all of a sudden, my husband's there next to me, and they're wheeling me out of the facility to the car. And that's how it was the first time. And I was still so calm from the drugs they gave me. I couldn't go, hey, Yella, man, you fucked up my anesthesia again. And I had all this pain. And, I felt like killing everyone, but only after I was home for about 2 hours, because that's when the drugs wore off. Oh my God, I was so angry. I was so angry. You try to advocate for yourself with these people, and they can still fuck up. And I kind of even feel deep down inside that there may have been some maliciousness in what she did to me, because the attitude that she gave me before the doctor came to talk to me, and then once he left and sent her back to the bed I was waiting in for my procedure, she still had attitude. Anyways, so that happened. So after the second eye was done, it just started to feel weird. It didn't feel right. And my eyeball was like jumping around. Now, as you know, looking at me in video, looking at pictures of me online, this left eye goes off. I have a wandering eye, a lazy eye. There's a technical term for it. I forget what it is. And I've always had that my whole life since I was born. I was born with this. And a cousin of mine has the same issue. And there's nothing wrong with the vision in that eye. And if you see, I can switch my focus, and I'm looking at the camera through my left eye. I actually have better vision in my left eye than I do in my right. But I am somehow right eye dominant. So the right eye is the one I typically choose to focus through. My brain just works like that. It just mainly focuses through the right eye. And so when I go back and this eye goes off again, I can see, watch my finger, and watch it, and watch it. And I'm looking at you with my right eye, and watch it. I can still see my finger. I can still see my finger. I can still see my finger. I can still see my finger, and my hand, I can see my fingertips at this point. My hand is actually a little bit about an inch and a half behind my shoulder now, and I can still see my fingertips if I go like this with my hand. So when I'm driving, I always know when someone's going to cut me off. When my husband's driving and I'm in the passenger seat, I always know when someone's going to cut him off, and I warn him. So basically, that wandering eye has saved my life and our lives many times on the Houston highways. I mean, people around here drive like maniacs. So I'm very grateful for it. And I also think that's one of the reasons I'm so psychic. You know, psychic, it's far seeing, far knowing, far hearing, you know, all the clairs, the clairaudience for hearing, I have that. The clairvoyance for seeing the future, I have that. You know, it's, I think it's really goes hand in hand. So anyways, now you know where I've been. I was limited to a couple hours a day of screen time. That meant my phone, anything to do online, and television. So I had to keep an extremely low profile. I recorded the text for most of my posts in the meantime, just to kind of keep my social media kind of going, so people wouldn't be like, did she die or something? You know, just, you know, because when you're running an online business, it's really important to keep your face out there. And it was just really, really crazy, really difficult. And I felt like crap that whole time. And basically all of 2024, because of what happened with my eyes, I felt sick all the time. Luckily, it didn't interfere with me filling orders with my business because, you know, I work for myself. I create my own work schedule. I work from home. It's the ideal work situation. And so I was able to work around all the times I felt shitty. I mainly felt shitty in the mornings and in the evenings. So I just did the bulk of my work from like late morning to early afternoon. And then the rest of the time I was left to feel like crap if I wanted to, you know, not that I wanted to, but you know how the body goes. So that's what's happened to me. I sent out a newsletter. As of today's filming, I am filming this on January, I don't know what the date is. What is the date? The 28th, 29th. I think it's the 29th. January 29th, 2025. I sent out a newsletter today. Many of you will receive that in your email. If you're subscribed, you don't see it in your email, please check your spam. I do use MailChimp. MailChimp emails, newsletters, automatically go to your spam folder for most big email clients, like Yahoo, Gmail, you know. So do check both. And if it's not there, if you follow me over on Facebook, I have got the link posted on my profile. You can go there, click on the link, read the email, see what the latest offers are for my VIP clients, and you can also sign up for that email. Another important thing is I'm closing my email list for my VIPs only. I'm going to start a separate email list that is geared to new clientele. For my older clientele, many of you have been with me well over 10 years. I have got 2 clients who have been with me the entire length of my business. I've been in business for 26 years. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you all. And you all are my VIPs. Whenever I have sales and discounts, the VIPs get the deepest discounts, the biggest sales. I'll have a separate email where I do offer discounts and sales. They will not be as deep a discount or as big a sale as what my VIPs get. Like right now, I've got a positive energy transmission on sale at 50% off, which is just unheard of. I have not offered my candle work at this price in like 10 years or something, you know. Also about positive energy transmissions, that's another update. Lots of updates here. My guides have told me, because I am a channel for Archangel Michael and because he channeled to me his healing modality called the clear iridescent energy ray, and then I just add on of Archangel Michael, because to me that's where it comes from. They've told me my vibration has gone up so high in the last few years because every time I channel an attunement for someone, I receive one. So when I do these group attunements, and I'm doing attunements all day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. with like 30 minutes off for lunch. Every time I send one out, I get one. And so my vibration's been just ticking up, increasing, to where now I cannot use the word spells in my marketing in reference to my services anymore because it has lower vibration associations attached to it. All you have to do is watch any movie on the occult and there you go, you know? So I keep bumping Archangel Michael, I'm sorry. So anyway, I am now calling them, at the suggestion of my spirit guides, positive energy transmissions, or PETs for short, which I just think is hilarious. I mean, I love animals and I have a dog and a cat. And so what they are basically is what I have always done with spells, positive energy transmissions. I have to catch myself too. I've always included for all the materials I use, for any candles, herbs, oils, I give everything a Reiki Master Attunement. That is a Reiki attunement up to and including the master degree. Can't do teacher because they can't go off and give other oils and herbs and candles attunements, obviously. But I do take them up through the master degree. I then give all items used in positive energy transmissions an attunement to the clear iridescent energy ray, or CIER for short, CIER. I then am the soul channel for an Egyptian healing modality called PARANORMAL, and that system calls attunements initiations. So I will give them an initiation up to and including the 4th initiation, which is one step below the teacher initiation. And so these items are like literally buzzing with energy by the time I'm actually performing the positive energy transmission. But I don't stop there. I also work with stones and crystals. So if you've ever ordered from me, in the past, I've done written reports to tell you how your candle behaved while it was burning, and then given you my psychic interpretations of the remains. I've included photos in your report. I can no longer do that. A couple of years ago, I fell and cracked my left radius in 3 places. Was told by the doctor, it would have been better if you'd broken it. Yeah, thanks a lot. I was in a cast for 8 weeks, and then ever since then, I have trouble typing, along with some other things. So no more typing, but I do video reports now. So it's a major upgrade because now what I do when someone's candle's burning, I take video of it. I am giving you my commentary live in the moment while I'm recording the video. And I do that at least once a day as long as your candle remains burning. If there's changes in your candle's behavior, if your candle is well behaved and it just burns all nice and everything, you'll get an initial 1 or 2 video observations, and then I'll conclude at the end with my psychic interpretations of the candle remains and tell you your candle was so awesome, I didn't have to film it again, and here are the final results of what I see here and how I think the energy is going to work for you. So those stones and crystals I use with my positive energy transmissions have already been taken through the Reiki attunement up to master degree, the clear iridescent energy ray attunement, and the PARANORMAL initiations up to 4th initiation. And then I redo all of that for your particular positive energy transmission in your name to connect that energy to your energy, which is another reason why I always ask people for their full name, date of birth, current city, state, country of residence. I don't need your street address, but I do need the other information so I can connect with your own personal energy and be sure all these special energies are reaching you through the positive energy transmission. So a lot goes into it. A lot more than your typical practitioners online who they get a candle, they cleanse it, they charge it in your name, they may carve some stuff into it, sigils, whatever, and they anoint it in any way they feel fit according to their practice, and then they concentrate on it, light it, focus that energy outward toward you. That's what most practitioners do. That's in my world, that's bare bones. I do a lot more than that. I know, and I always have. That's how I've always done them, but I've never advertised the fact because I'm really shitty on promoting myself. I always have been, because, you know, it's drilled into me as a kid. It's wrong to brag. And I see marketing as being basically bragging, and I know I really shouldn't, because I'm a businesswoman. You know, I should be comfortable talking about what it is that makes me unique among all other practitioners. So that is what makes me unique among all other practitioners. Okay, so now you're caught up with my eyeballs, my newsletter, the importance of going once a year to get your eye pressures checked, and my recommendation, you have an ophthalmologist do that, not an optometrist, ophthalmologist. And also about the change in terminology from spells to positive energy transmissions, and what you get when you order a positive energy transmission from me, and the sale that's going on right now is with my newsletter. The link is up at Facebook. Okay, now for the fun part. I'm going to open this. This is from Laura. Laura is one of my lovely patrons over on Patreon and Facebook. I have a Patreon group. I'll post the link below. It's $22 a month. And I'll also have to create another little thingy of all the perks you get. I had to take a break because of my eyeballs. I'm back now, more or less. I still get eye strain though. And my left eye's been kind of like feeling like it's jumping in the socket. I know it's not jumping, but that's what it feels like. And I'm about ready to go back and see my doctor. But I don't know. Okay. Okay, there's something in here. It feels, it's really light, has not. Ah! Oh my God, this is too awesome! As many know who've been following me for a long time, I am Mexican American, and Mexicans are, one of our major holidays of the year is the Day of the Dead. Look at this! It's a sugar skull bride! Oh my gosh, and she's done up in the color palette that Frida Kahlo uses in most of her artwork. Oh my goodness, look at the colors! Laura, this is fab! Oh my gosh, I love it so much! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. There's more. Hey, there's more. So are these two other ornaments? That's what I'm guessing for right now. Let me see. Laura, you're so sweet to send this to me. Thank you so very much, my friend. These are just amazing. Yeah, this is going to be another one. Oh my gosh. Oh, how cool. It's the groom. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness, Laura. Oh, geez. That is so cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold them up. Let me get this out of the way here. You can see the bride and the groom together. Oh my gosh. I gotta be super careful because I have glasses. I'm wearing glasses that are 12 years old because after my doctor replaced my cataracts with the new lenses, my eyes have gone back 12 years in time, and they're now like how they were before I wore bifocals. Everything I have's got a bifocal in it, so everything close up, I've got to be really careful not to drop it, not to bang it, because I can't really see it too well. Here are the bride and the groom. These are great. These are great. Oh, I love them. Oh, I'm going to cherish these. And there's one more. Who knows what this is? This one feels kind of flat. This might be something different. I don't know. It's very light. I'm thinking it's another ornament, but it's kind of flat. Let's see. Yes, it is. Oh, oh, oh. It's the Virgin of Guadalupe. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Laura. Oh, this is so precious to me. Thank you. My dad had a special devotion to her, and so she means a great deal to me too. And just, oh, to have her on my tree, that is so special. These are going to go front and center next year. Front and center, Laura. Thank you again. Bless you for your kindness and your generosity. Oh, I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all of my patrons. And I appreciate all my clients and all my subscribers. It's one more thing if you're a subscriber. The YouTube algorithm no longer likes my channel because I don't post regularly to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my channel, not my whole channel, but I'm going to move all of my public videos to another channel and start another channel there. And when I do, I will be sharing that link out. So you can stay subscribed to this channel if you want, or you can subscribe to the new one. And the new one's going to be even better. I'm going to be focusing on a selection of videos about how to keep and maintain a book of shadows or a grimoire, what the difference is between the two. There is a difference. And also I'm going to have videos, a whole separate category of videos based upon the videos I've done for my other channel, my baby channel, True Tales of the Paranormal, which go over all of my own personal paranormal experiences and those of my immediate family and a couple of my friends. Because that video, that channel, True Tales of the Paranormal, which I'll also link below if you want to subscribe directly to that, that channel has really blossomed. I only began it last June, and I'm past 700 subscribers already, and I'm halfway to the requirements for monetization on that channel. So I really want to try to get it monetized. I originally only started it for Ariel. I wanted my daughter to have a record of all the weirdness that she comes from. She's had weird stuff happen to her too. Oh, I've got a couple of stories I can even share about her. Now that I think about it, I'll have to get her permission, of course. But yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted that channel for. And people started subscribing, and they kept subscribing, and they kept subscribing, and they were sweet and commenting on my videos and loving the material. And I was just like, my mind was blown that people would be interested in this weird stuff. And I was like, okay. So I've just run with it. And I've kept sharing the stories because I've had so many things happen to me personally in my life that literally it would probably take me about 2 years of recording once a week to share everything. And then, you know, I'm sharing stuff that's happened to my dad, to my grandfathers on both sides of my family, you know, so it's a lot of material. And so my new Magical Musings channel will have that with it. So, but those videos are going to come out, you know, not all at once. They're going to be in piecemeal because I've got to get the algorithm used to seeing me on that new channel and getting it set up to where it's recommending me to the correct viewers and that sort of thing. There's a whole process behind it. It's crazy. It's crazy. YouTube, you think YouTube is so easy. It's a hell of a lot of work. Hell of a lot of work. Which is why I don't post on this channel regularly. Because I've been posting to my True Tales of the Paranormal. I also have an art channel here that I do not post regularly to either. But at least the algorithm likes that channel more than this one. I also wonder if there's maybe a little bit of discrimination going on with that because of, you know, the spiritual differences of my work as compared to the quote norm. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But I want to thank y'all for watching. I know this video was lengthy. Anyone who has stayed behind, if you could put like, you know, the angel emoji, if you put the angel emoji below to let me know, I'd appreciate that so much. And again, comments always help my videos to get seen by new people. So you please comment. I would appreciate that so much. If you're not already subscribed, please give this video a like and subscribe. Then hit the subscribe button a second time and you'll see a little bell icon. Click on that icon so you'll get notified when I post new videos. If you don't click on the bell icon, you will never be notified and you'll never know when I'm posting, even if you've subscribed. Yeah, I know, it's stupid. Oh, what can I tell you? I don't make the rules here. If I did, things would be a whole lot different. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you all. This is Neferkefri of Magical Musings, wishing you a blessed day ahead.